Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and I'm here for your second episode of the SoloLearn course. So let's jump straight. So just gonna open up my SoloLearn on my browser. Go straight into the Java introduction. And last week we focused more on the basics. And this week we're going to be working more on control flow. This is going to be a little more sped up version because we got a lot of the basics down last week. So let's go for it. You may pause to read as well. So on this point over here, you're going to look at what string input you're taking. So here's an example. I don't know why it didn't load last time, but you're going to put your scanner sc is equal to new scanner and then system.in. Then you're going to put the string name, and there's going to be the next line. Next line captures whatever's typed in the next line. So go here. We do import Java util scanner. We go via new scanner. Go system.in and then we say string nick is equal to next line. Cool. Similarly, we can also take an integer for next int. Will this age? So I think my internet's giving me some problems, but let's see what it says over here. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay. So you got the demo class, and then we say scanner sc. So sc is the name of the scanner variable we're creating, is equal to new scanner system.in. So system.in describes the input, the type of input scanner you're putting into your uh, keyboard. So, and then you're going to assign an integer to age, so that you're declaring it. So the integer will be of type age, and sc. So we got the scanner class dot next int, and then we print out age. So rearrange to create a valid program that takes the integer input and output it as a double. Okay, so double, or input it's double, sorry. So we declare your scanner first, then we declare the variable, and then we print out the variable. Okay, multiple inputs, let's do here. So multiple inputs is so you can use the same scanner to take multiple input. For example, take name and age as something like that. So you'll put string name is equal to name is equal to sc dot next line. This will capture the next line of code, which will be which will be the string. It only captures the string value of it. So if you type 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll capture that as a string. And then your next line for that will be next int will be um, capturing the integer inside the age variable. And then you got system, your print statement. So it's gonna add a name, and then it's gonna add a small formatting, and then the age. So note that when you run on a playground, provide all inputs. So let's look at the lesson takeaways from this one here. This one is a very quick one because it's just teaching you the basics of how to use a scanner class and how to take in user input. So import the Java utility scanner class. Create a scanner object, and then this is the scanner object, by the way. Use this corresponding method of the scanner to take input. For example, Java.util scanner. So we got the scanner object over here. Save that. So it's over here. Over here. So then from there, you're going to assign it to an integer variable, and then you print it out. Put in the blanks to create a valid program that takes a string as an integer and out as an input, and then put a welcome message. So we got import Java util scanner, and then our next public static void is going to be main scanner equal to new scanner. The string name will be scanner dot no sc dot next line, because sc is the variable of the object, and then we want sc dot next int system out of print line, and then we check. Yay, we completed that. Okay, so then we're going to go on to, sorry, let me just do that, conditionals. So decision making. Conditional statements are used to perform different actions based on different conditions. For example, a billing program can apply a discount to the total if only the amount is greater than the threshold. So let's learn how to create such problems. So if condition equals true or false, it's going to output something. So the if statement is one of the most frequently used conditional statements. If the if statement is true, the block of code inside the if statement is executed. So just say we had some system out the print line hello world over here. It will print out a hello world if this condition is true. Okay. So the if statement, any of the following comparison operators may be used to perform the condition. Less than is this arrow, greater than, not equal to, less than equal to, and greater than equal to. So here's an example. Age is equal to 24 if age is more than 18, which is true because it's 24. System.out.println will be welcome. So you do a drag and drop over here. If drag and drop the output open if time is less than 20. Alright, so we'll do that. Out.println open. The if statement. The equals to is to test for equality. Since a single equal sign is the assignment operator. So these two equal signs mean equal to. And remember that we usually use the equal sign when we're making variables. So you see over here, number is equal to 8. We use one equal sign. That means the variable number is equal to 8. Now, if we want to check if that number is equal to 8, we put another equal to sign, and it will change into a condition. So if number two equal signs is equal to 8, it'll print out bingo. Which one's just for equality? It's that one there. Else statement. So the else statement is an if statement can only be followed by an optional else statement which executes when code evaluates to false. So age is more than 30. If age is less than 16, it's going to print out too young. Else is going to print out welcome. So since the age is already 30, it's going to bypass this condition because the age is not less than 16, and we'll go to the false statement, which is the else statement, which will print out welcome. Fill in the blanks to output the grade of the two variables. if x is less than y, then you print out y. No, wait, oh, no, it means x, because x is greater than y, the assignment operator. Check, should be right. Alright, then you got if-else statements. You can only use one if-else statement inside another if statement or else statement. So what is an if-else statement? Oh, nested if statement, sorry. So nested if statements is like double condition. So over here we see that we have our main method and then we have our age. So if the age is more than 0, to show that this person is actually alive, because you can't have an age less than 0, then it will go on to the next set of statements. So I want you to focus on this point here. So now we know that person is alive. Now if the person is more than 16, it's going to print out welcome. Else, if the person is less than 16, it's going to print too young. Now we also have this else statement which corresponds to this if statement. So this else statement connected to this if. So this else statement connected to this if statement. This if statement is connected to this else statement. And this all is enclosed in one one nested statement. Okay. What is the value after the code is run? Okay. Zoom out. Okay, so if x is more than 2, so x is equal to 3. If x is more than 2, it's going to accept, else it's going to put out 8. But if x is more than including 5, it's going to put out 4, but it's not. So x is equal to 6. Cool. If-else statements. Instead of using nested if-else statements, you can use else-if statements to check on multiple conditions. So essentially, instead of using multiple if statements inside each other, you can do an else-if statement. An else-if statement will have multiple conditions. So if age is less than 0, we'll throw an error. Then you go to the next one. It's going to go like linearly. It's going to go from top to bottom. So else if age is less than including 16, so we say too young. Else age is less than 100, so we say welcome. Yeah. Alrighty then. So we're going to go on to the next one. Fill in the blanks to output the letter from the English alphabet that corresponds with the number. Okay, so we'll put another if statement over here. We're going to put else if statement. Let's say num. It's going to be correct. Lesson takeaways. Now you know how to make decisions in code. So here are some key takeaways you got from this. You can check using the if statement. If the condition is false, you can put an else statement. And this is the generic structure of the code. So fill in the blanks to check if temperature value outputs an alert of over 38. Also output if it's lower than 34, because I think they are trying to refer to the human temperature. So if temp is equal to 38, you're going to open your brackets, else if, I was going to say else, should be right. There you go. Lesson completed. On to the next point. So we finished with conditionals. Now we're going to go to switch statements. So conditionals. Consider a program that takes a date as a number and input and outputs the corresponding weekday. For shorter code, we've dimensioned 3 values. So I think over here it's going to be like 3 else statements. I'm just going to refresh this to see what's happening. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back and I'm still having the same problems. So I think over here they put like 3 if statements. Negotiation for all dates. So instead of using many if else statements, it will be hard to read. We can use a switch statement. So a switch statement tests a variable for equality against a list of values. Here's our previous example using the switch statement. So over here, got your class demo. If int is equal to day2, we start up a switch. The case is if case is 1, it's going to print on Monday. 2 is going to print on Tuesday. 3 is going to print on Wednesday, and so on. So then, let's look at the code again. When variables are being switched on an equal case, the statements following the case will have to execute a break statement is reached. Otherwise, it's going to print out. If we say 2, it's going to say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's going to print out all the time because that's how the switch statement has. Also over here, it says you can have any number of cases within a switch. Each case is followed by a comparison value and a colon. So you got your switch day, you're going to have your open and close brackets, and then you're going to have your colon. So you got your colon over here. Oops, no, not semicolon, colon. And then it's going to be case 2, and then you're going to break with a comma. It's important to have break within each case. If there's no breaks, then the program will continue to execute until the next case in the switch. So even if the value doesn't even match it, it will still switch on. That's if there's no break case. So if you run this example, it's going to be that. It's going to print out Tuesday and Wednesday. So what's the value of the code after this? So we got x is equal to 2, it's going to print out 4. Why? Because it's going to continue the cases to find the cases, although the first case has been found. So x is equal to 2. So case 2 is reached when x is equal to 2, and it'll be 3, and then it'll be 4, because it's going to execute like that. A switch statement can also have an optional default case. This can be used for performing a task if none of the cases are matched. So over here, you got your default case. If it's 4 and above, it's going to print out another day. So what is the output of the following code? You got A is equal to 11, B is equal to 12, and C is equal to 40. So switch case A. So you're going to put the 11 inside here. Case is equal to 40. System out print line B, which is going to be 12, but we don't reach case 40 because we don't have 40. Then I print out C, which is 40. Because it skips over and goes to the default case. So lesson takeaways. The switch statement is a handy way to check for multiple variables and run code. Remember, each case is followed by a value and a colon. Each case needs a break statement or another or the code of another case will continue to be executed. And then we got the final point, and then we're going to be talking about multiple conditions in our next lesson. Oh, okay, it's going to be this one here. Yeah, should be alright. You got your second lesson completed. Okay, we got multiple conditions now. So in some cases, we need to combine multiple conditions. For example, let's say we want to check if age is greater than a value of 18 and less than 50. This can be done with the ampersand value. So what is the ampersand value? So an ampersand value is this here. This here. That's the ampersand value. It's not all of it, it's just one. It's the and sign, essentially. I don't know why my PC is glitching out. Yeah. So this is also referred to a logical AND operator. So let's go to the next one. Fill in the blanks to check for the to test if both conditions in the following statement. So I'm guessing they want us to do that. Let's see what the comment says. Yeah, so this is the answer. So it's and. Okay, so let's continue. The OR operator. The OR operator checks if one of the conditions are true. For example, okay. In case of the OR operator, false and true is equal to true. True and true is equal to true. So as long as there's one, so for the OR operator, as long as there's one side that is true, the whole thing will be true. So if it's true and true, if the conditions are true and true, it's going to be true. If it's going to be true and false, it's going to be true. If it's going to be false and true, it's going to be true. But if it's false and false, it's going to return false. So I know it sounds a bit complicated, but I think you don't need to worry for that right now. So what's the output of the following code? So A is equal to 11 and B is equal to 12 and C is equal to 40. If A is more than 100, which is not, and B is more than 3, which is true, then you're going to print out A, which is true in this case. So A is more than 100. That's false. B is more than 3. That's true because B is equal to 12. So we got a false condition and we got a true condition. So a false or true will give us true. It's going to be 11. The not operator is used to reverse a condition. If a condition is true, the not logical operator will make it false and vice versa. So essentially this is like your Uno reverse card of conditions. It's going to flip the value. So if the value is true, it's going to give us false. If the value is false, it's going to give us true. So this is not x is equal to more than 3. So you can read the top of here. If x is equal to 3, what will be the result of the following? So x is less than 3. So x is not less than 3 because, so it's going to be, this is false, it's going to be true. So multiple conditions. You can chain multiple conditions using parentheses and logical operators. So fill in the blanks to output OK if the temp values is between 36 and 38. Output alert if it's not. So it has to be between 38 and. So it's very case specific. So we're going to put and at the first one. Because it has to be in between those. We'll print out OK. Then you're going to got else statement. So we put out alert if it's not. There you go. So logical operators allow to combine multiple conditions, and the AND operator combines two conditions and checks if both of them is true, and will return if anything else. It will return false if every other part is false. The OR operators check if any condition is true except for false and false conditions. The NOT operator reverses a condition. So next lesson we'll cover loop. So what is the result when hours equal to 9 and days equal to 23. So if you want to cheat over here, it'll say over here. So false and false is equal to false. But let's go through it. So hour is equal to more than 12. So hour is equal to, as currently, the hour is equal to 9. So this is false. So, and then we're going to check if day. Day is less than 15. So that is false as well, because the day is 23. So we got false and the AND operator, which checks for truth. But false and false, this whole condition is false. Now we're saying the hour is equal to less than 8, which is false because the hour is 9. The whole condition is false. Okay, we're going to go for while loops. So loops allow you to repeat a block of code multiple times. So the while loop can be repeated to execute a target statement as long as a given condition is true. So try to load it up for you guys. There you go. While x is more than 0, it'll print out this, and then it's got a control variable at the end. The while statement checks for a condition. If it evaluates to be true, then it executes the statement within the body. Then it checks if the statement is true and continues. The code will output numbers 3 to 1 and then stop as the condition becomes false after x reaches 0. So fill in the blanks with saying while something like that 0, and then you're going to put your parentheses. Okay, so over here, let's look at the code again. We also have an updating variable, as without it, the while loop will continue forever. So the updating variable is x is equal to x minus 1. So you see x is equal to 3. So as we go to the while loop, it's going to minus 1 each time until we reach 0. And then once we reach 0, the while loop will cease to exist or not work, because x is equal to 0, and the while loop only runs when the variable is under a certain condition. Rearrange the code to output numbers 1 to 5 while using a while loop. So while that is equal to more than 5. Okay, we're going to put the instantiation on the top. Update that. Check. As it is common to decrease and increase the variable by 1 during loops, Java provides increment and decrement operators. So it's a shorter way essentially to say -1 or +1. For example, the statement x is equal to x plus 1 can be simplified by x minus minus. So this can be put over here. So it'll be integer 3, and then as it reaches over here, it's going to be integer 2, and once it goes to the while loop, it's going to be 1, and then it will reach 0. So what is the output of this code? So 8, 7, 6. Because it's only minuses 1, the integer 1 from it. And the plus value is going to do the opposite. So x is equal to x plus 1. So some loops require to increase and decrease the value by a variable by a different number. For example, let's output even numbers from 1 to 10. So how they do that is, while x is less than including 10, it's going to print out a value, and then the value will be increased by 2 each time. So it's going to be 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Surprise, there's also a shorter way to say that. It's going to be x plus is equal to 2. That's one way of saying increase by 2. So what's the value after this code? So x is equal to 2, and then x is increased by 1, so it's going to be 3, and then x is times multiplied by 2, so 3 times 2 is 6, 6 minus 2 is 4. Also, if you guys are having any problems in the middle of your walkthrough, you can use the chat function. This comments function, a lot of people are going to show you the answers as well, and explain it as well in good in-depth as well. You find this chat function above the heart icon over here on the top where my cursor is right now. You can also perform calculations and other operations in the loops. For example, you can calculate the sum from 1 to 100. So how many times will the following loop work? So while x is less than y, is going to print out a hello, and then x will increase. So x will work. So it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because 5 is equal to it. So it's going to be 5 times it's going to be run. So why this is so? To everyone that's confused about the answer, don't forget we begin at cycle 0. So it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So from 0 to 4 is going to be 5 cycles. So if you want to hear more insight, it's going to be a lot of explanations over here as well. The do while loops. So another variation of a do loop or while loop is a do loop. So notice that the condition appears at the end of the loop, so the statements in the loop can execute before it's tested. Even with a false condition, the code will run. Also note the semicolon after the while condition. Okay, so essentially your do loop is your while loop, but it checks the value at the end. So what will be the output of the code? So x is equal to 3. So it's going to be do x multiplied by x while x is less than 5. Alright, so it's going to be 3 times 3, which is 9, while x is equal to 5. So x is equal to 9 at the moment, so it won't repeat, which is maybe 9. Here's a summary about the while loop and the code that runs on the condition. The while loop runs along the condition as long as it's true. The double plus and double minus are used to increase and decrease a value by 1. And then we also got a Java also provides shorthand methods where the values can be shortened like this, in this format. The do while is similar to a while loop, but it's guaranteed to run at least once. Fill in the blanks to create a countdown that outputs numbers 10 to 1. So while system out to the print line, and then x will be decreasing. Cool, now we're going to go on to the for loops. I think this is one of my favorite types of loops. So another kind of loop is the for loop. It looks like this. I don't know why my thing is glitching, but it looks like. So the for loop looks like this. So I'm going to type for int I is equal to a condition is equal to 0, and then it's going to have a set condition. So just say I must be less than 10, and then I must be increasing. So it's usually typed out like that. So Stack Overflow also got some answers. So this is the for loop uh, basic formula. So you declare your counter variable, then you have a boolean condition that checks at every point, and then we're going to update counter. So for int I is equal to 0, I is less than 10, and then I increases. It should load now. Yeah. Those are output numbers 1 through 4. So essentially this is it's similar to a while loop, but the for loop, it has its own counter and everything, so it'll cut off as soon as the conditions have already been fulfilled. So you don't have to put a updating variable in the middle of your body of code. So the for loop has three components. The first part runs when we enter the loop of code and initialize the variable. The second part is a condition of the loop, and the third part runs every time the loop runs. So the first part is the creating of the variable. Then we got a condition, and then we got the step, as people will call it. So the step will increase the variable by a set amount. So in this case, we increase it by 1. You could also have the step variable equal to 2, multiplying by 2, dividing by 2. Depends on what you want to do with it. Notice that semicolons comes after the loop. Yeah. So over here actually. So you've got the int 1, and then you've got semicolon, that x is less than 5, it's going to be a semicolon, and then x plus plus. Okay, so now fill in the missing values. So we're going to do that, open your brackets, that's your answer. You could have any type of condition and any type of increment in the for loop. Example shows even values from 0 to 10. See? So you start off at 0, and then it's going to increase by 2 every time until it reaches 10. So the for loop is the best when we know the number of times we need to run the loop. So we knew that we need to run the loop like around 5 times over here. So that's why we got the step and everything. So how many numbers will this loop output? So we got 1, so we got 2, and it mustn't be more than 10. I mustn't be more than 10. Otherwise it's gonna I must be within the range of less than 10, so up to 9. So we got 2, it will be 2 times 2. Oh wait, I is equal to I times I. So over here it's going to be 2, and then I is equal to 2 times 2, which is 4. How many numbers will output? Well, so we'll output 1, which will be 4. But 4 times 4, which is 16. 16 is more than this thing, so it's going to output twice. We'll put output 2 numbers. We'll put output 4 and 16, and it's going to cut off. So over here they explain really well. So the answer is 2. The value of the first iteration is 2. The value of the second iteration is 4. in the third iteration the loop will break. Yeah. So they've also got loop control. They've got break statement, which is, remember the break statement from the switch can also be used over here to terminate loops. So I'm not showing a good example, but here you go. So if x is equal to 4, it's going to break the loop. Oh, this is a while loop. Let's say I was used for the for loop. So now we got an incrementing loop that goes up till 10. Now once it reaches 4, it's going to break the whole loop and it's going to print out 1 to 4. So here is one example of a use case for break. So for example, you are making a calculator and you need to take numbers from the users and add together and stop when the user enters stop. In this case, the break statement can be used to end the loop when the user input is stopped. Fill in the blanks to stop the loop when the num variable reaches a value of 55. Okay, then we've got to continue. So another way to control is also with the continue statement. So how this works is it makes the loop skip the current iteration and go to the next one. So you got the code skips for the value 30 as directed by the continue statement. So how this works is it's increasing by 10 every time. So you got 10, 20, and once it reaches 30, you go run through here. And it's going to, you see over here, got to continue. It's going to skip over this. And since it skipped over this, it's not going to reach the print statement. So an example of the use case of the continue is an airline ticketing system that needs to be calculated for the total cost of ticket purchase. Tickets for children under the age of 3 are free. Please do excuse my background. We can also use a while loop to iterate through the list of passengers and calculate the total ticket costs. But here the continue statement will be used to skip children. So what they're trying to say is, like while they're checking ages in the ticketing system, if the age is equal to less than equal to 3, it's going to continue. So it's not going to charge them for that. So fill in the blanks to output numbers 10 to 20, skipping the number 13. So you got the 4, you got your first bracket, and now if that is equal to 13, it's going to continue. This is going to add the print line, you're going to put X on time. Should be right. Continue. So the for loop has the following syntax. You got your init, your condition, and your increment. The break statement can be used to stop a loop. The continue statement can be used to skip over the current iteration and jump to the next one. So fill in the blanks to create to calculate the output and output the sum of numbers 1 to 1000 using a for loop. So for int I, okay, and I is incrementing, sum is equal to x, increases by x, system will out of print line for x plus, that's right, this is increasing by some amount. Oh, okay, so that's right, and then got your sum at the bottom. We all have our moments, guys. Alrighty then, so I think we're on to our final section, which is the module 2 quiz. Let's go for it, guys. So fill in the blanks to output the passed if the greater value is more, if the grade value is greater than 70, and if it is not, it's going to be failed. So it's going to be if grade is 70, more than 70, it's going to system output passed. Else it's going to put out failed. Cool. Drag and drop to complete the program that takes a number as an input and checks if the number is from 1 to 5. In this case, it's going to print out correct. So scanner sc is equal to new scanner system.int. Int number is equal to sc.nextInt, and then you're going to put an if statement. If number is in between number 1 and 5, we'll put an and. So num is more than including 1, and num is less than including 5. It's going to be in between the range. Should be right. Continue. Fill in the blanks to create a loop that outputs all numbers from 1 to 100 except 42. So for int is equal to that. I'm going to cut that. If system out of print line, it's similar to the example we did previously. How many numbers will the following while loop output? So we got x is equal to 8. While x is more than 0, it's going to print out the value, and then it's going to update the value by -3. So you got 8, which will be the first iteration. Then you got 5, which is going to be a second iteration. Then you got 2, which is going to be a third iteration. So it's going to be 3 iterations. So fill in the blanks to create a valid switch statement that outputs the first 3 letters by their position in the alphabet. So case 1 will be A, case 2 will be B, break will have a comma, case 3 will be C, and then break at the end. Knowledge is power, guys. Let's go. Okay. And that, guys, concludes our second set of lessons. So I know this one here was quite a fast one, I'm not gonna lie. We went through things very fast. We went over taking user input, conditionals, the switch statement, multiple conditions, while loops, for loops, and even to the quiz. So next week we'll be taking a look at arrays. So we're going to be looking at what is an array, the looping over arrays, the multi-dimensional arrays. I know it sounds really big, but don't worry, it's not that much. And then we got your third quiz, and then we got our final stretch, which is going to be methods. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please do remember to like and subscribe, and also reach out to us on our WhatsApp group chat as well as on the comments below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, and thank you guys for watching this video. Have a lovely day ahead, and looking forward to our next video, which will be our next week. Cheers, guys.